Welcome everybody to the long-awaited F85 bench from Giant Lifting Review. Now, I'm sorry it's been so long, Giant Lifting. I've had this thing for about 3 or 4 months now. I've used it almost every day, beat the hell out of it, and I figured I better get on this review before they come down from Washington and beat my ass. Now, I want to tell you why this thing, first off, is the Goldilocks of all the benches that I've ever used. Number one, it's not a chintzy bench. It's not lacking in features. It's not a piece of junk that clinks all over the place and it's just, you're like, ugh, this is a piece of junk when you're sitting on it. You all know those benches. But it's also not overbuilt like some other benches that are maybe a little difficult to move around depending on who you are, or just annoying and cumbersome to move them around. This one is somewhere in the sweet spot, right in the middle, where it has all the features that you would want from one of these really robust benches, but also it's light enough to where you can move it around. So let's go ahead and dig into this guy and hope you enjoy the review. All right, guys, so I have the two benches together here. This is the Rogue 3.0 bench, and this is F85. Now, you see what they tried to do here. They tried to mirror the same design as the Rogue bench with this bench, but give it to you at a fraction of the cost. This one comes in at $705, whereas this one comes in at $341. So it's essentially basically half the price, but the same functionality, thinner gauge steel. They cut some corners where they had to, but still it functions the same exact way as this one, and it's also a lot lighter. This one's 125 pounds. Now, rather than making this video about a comparison between the Giant bench and the Rogue bench, which would be unfair, it would be like me comparing the Titan Fitness SS bar to the Transformer bar from Kabuki. It's just not fair. They're in a way different price bracket, right? But I'm gonna tell you where they got things right. The fact that they have a ladder system that's all encased, very similar to this ladder system, with markings for the different positions that you want to put the back end in. The fact that it does stand up. The fact that they have the same etched in numbers on the seat pad as they do on this one. The fact that you have a handle on the front, and actually, I prefer that knurled handle better than the Rogue one. But that's gonna be enough of the comparisons here. I'm gonna go ahead and just review the bench and tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. First off, if you do decide to buy this bench, what you are going to get when you receive this bench in the mail is this piece right here. The main frame is all put together for you. The only thing you have to do is basically put this pad on here, this pad on here, and this back foot on here, and you're done. You don't have to put these pieces on. You don't have to put these pieces in here. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It is basically all done for you. Maybe you've seen my other video where I actually assemble the Rogue 3.0 bench, but it is a lengthy process. This one took me about 10 minutes to put together. Now that that's out of the way, I want to go ahead and tell you about the pad. The pad on this guy is what you would expect to find if you've ever seen any of the rep benches. It is not too soft, and it is not as firm as the Rogue pad, but it's somewhere right in the middle, and it provides adequate cushioning for anything you are going to be doing, your pressing movements, just sitting on here doing curls, whatever the case may be. It is a very nice pad. Same with the back. The fact that it also has wheels, so you can move it around, you can position it, is very nice. Now, it has a different system in the fact that it does not have a kickstand back here that the Rogue one has with the UHM plastic that it sits on. So they had to incorporate sort of a lip on the back of the wheel. So you can't be moving it around like this. It's already caught on there. You actually have to come down a little ways, like right here, and then you can go ahead and move it around, which took a little bit of getting used to, but that's really only because I'm used to the Rogue bench where I can just actually move it vertically around. So if you didn't have the Rogue bench, then that would be an issue for you. Now, this is all fantastic. They went with a little bit thinner of gauge steel on all the parts, and my guess is that's how they were able to decrease the price on this, because just the cost of the metal. The handle on here is a knurled handle, and I will tell you this thing feels great. There's also UHM plastic on the bottom portion of the front foot. and on the back foot. To widen the base of this guy a bit, they decided to throw on these very thick, heavy-duty rubber inserts. I can't even get these things off, but my guess is that's just to stabilize the bench a little bit more. They're great. They're not plastic or anything. They're thick rubber. And like I said, it functions the exact same way as the rep bench does on a ladder system. It will catch into every different spot, all the way up to 90 degrees. And same thing with the seat. You got your 0, you got your 15, and then you got your 30. 0 gap. By the way, I should mention that this bench, because it only weighs 84 pounds, is my general choice when I am gonna go set up in a different position. For example, when I come over and I wanna look at myself in the mirror, I can easily bring this one over here, do my sets, feel the pump, feel the burn, and then put it away very easily as opposed to my Rogue bench. So I do like the fact that it is a lot lighter. And for those of you out there who maybe are lifting lighter weights, or you don't want the added exertion of having to move around a bench between your sets because you're trying to rest, this is a lighter bench than the Rogue. All right, nitpick from a nitwit time. I should have a soundbite. This is nitpick from a nitwit. Things I think that they could do to improve this bench if they're gonna go the route of trying to mirror the Rogue bench. This rod that goes through here, and it's just a hole. I know how much metal costs. This would cost me about $5. I think what they should do is just to go ahead and drill a hole in here, insert a rod through here, so that way you have a handle to adjust. When you're adjusting this one, you have to pick up this, which is not the end of the world, given the fact that it's actually got this enclosed ladder system, which is great, but I don't think it would cost that much, even if they didn't even go through this all the way and just welded 2 pieces on the outsides. I think they could improve it. It would be a lot easier to adjust the bench. Now, the second thing would be is these pieces of rubber here are probably more expensive than these UHM plastic inserts that Rogues puts on the sides of theirs. I don't know because I didn't want to really wrench on these things and take them off to see how stable it was without them on here. But my guess is it's probably stable enough, or if they increased the width of this a tiny bit, they could actually get some of these inserts, and they don't have to use the big UHM Rogue inserts. They can use the same inserts that they used on the other pieces of metal on here, and therefore it would decrease the price on that. That would be my only suggestion to the company. So overall, guys, I think this is a fantastic bench. There's never been a time where I've been on top of this thing with a bunch of weight on top of me feeling like, oh my God, is this thing gonna break? I'm pushing too far down into the pads. It feels very, very stable. It also doesn't wobble side to side like some of the other benches that you see, like the ones that I put together and did not do a review on because I don't want to be too negative. So that is my review, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to have a lot of other stuff coming soon. I got 2 more benches coming in, along with a couple other functional trainer devices with USB and Bluetooth and all this crap. So if you feel like supporting the channel, make sure you go over to Shredded Dad's website, buy one of the mini Ds. Link will be in the description. And until next time, peace.